Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk Podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Well, hey there, friends, and welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten. I'm super happy to be here today in your ear pods or your earbuds or in your head right now. As some of my clients like to say, you're in my head. So I am excited today to just share, a follow-up to episode 174 and a follow-up to our sales strategy series. And kind of a big takeaway, from our 6-week Sales Accelerator Workshop that we did. I should really know what that's called better. But in July, if you will remember, in July of this year, I invited people to come and join me for a 6-week Sales Accelerator program. It was an experiment. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't sure, A, if anybody would want to do it. And holy cow, did they ever? We sold out quite quickly. And B, I wasn't really sure if what I wanted to share, and it's the same as the strategy that I did in the podcast, but we went deep into all of the sessions. And basically, we did it together. We put our sales strategy together week after week after week, step by step by step. And one of the big takeaways is what I'm going to talk about today, or one of the big aha moments that I didn't think would be as big of an aha moment. So I was surprised, not surprised, I guess, but it's important. But sometimes when we're too close to things, we don't see it. So I feel like it's something that I thought was common sense, and I'm really close to it, and I talk about it all the time, but it was a wonderful reminder. Even with my clients who had been working with me for years, they were like, I needed this. So this is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to be sharing with you how to do a brand asset check. And also, I wanted to let you know we are running that same 6-week session. We did one in July. I was going to say January, but anyway, we did one in July. We are doing another session starting on September 27th. So 6 weeks, one time a week, 1 hour and a half session a week, Wednesdays. And it is going to be awesome. I really think it's a game changer. Everybody that took it before said that. The feedback was amazing. I loved doing it. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was a really energetic, fun thing to watch everybody working on their sales strategy. So that's not just the tools, right? It's not just talking about what to do. It's about the strategy, getting very strategic about how we are moving customers from not knowing us at all through, the customer journey, through the customer funnel. I mean, it's what it is. It's a funnel, right? We move them as lurkers. We bring them in and we get them a little bit closer. They become, engaged with us. We nurture them. They become clients. They start shopping in our stores, and then we turn them into repeat clients. So that's what we talk about for the 6 weeks, and we work step by step by step through the strategy required to do that together. So it's a very small group, limited seating. We sold out last time. We sold out in July. We are starting again September 27th. So we will have the link in the show notes, or you can jump over to my website at wendybatten.com. Go to where it says work with me. You can find it there. I probably should know the URL, but there you go. Life is messy sometimes. That's what we're talking about. So that is open, and we do have that. If you're listening and you're an Inner Circle member, and or you want to become an Inner Circle member, or we have a lot of people that say, should I do that, or should I be an Inner Circle member? They're both valuable. It depends on what you're working on. We had a lot of Inner Circle members do that deep dive last time. I had mastermind members do that with me. We also do have that strategy in a pre-recorded format inside the Inner Circle. So it's all there if you want to DIY it yourself as well inside the Inner Circle, meaning listen to me, do the work. Listen to the training and do the work, ask the questions in the Inner Circle. So there's no excuse for you not to get get this strategy in place, and now more than ever, right? We want to get this in place, and it's meant to be easy for you to rinse and repeat. Your strategy will probably shift over time, and depending on the areas that you either want to push the gas or you want to take your foot off the brake, maybe that's sometimes the case too. We need to stop doing some things and push the gas on other things and really make things easier. The intent is not about doing more. The intent is about doing easier and better and more efficient, and just staying in love with our business through strategy, but making those profits. We want to make the profits, right? So we'll make the profits through the strategy, and all through this 6 weeks is what we do for that deep dive. So if you'd like to join us, again, I can't say how much I loved teaching that session last time, and the group really the feedback was just so good. Everybody made it almost every week. If you can't make it one week, that's fine. We have a replay. We have a dashboard set up for you so you can go there and get the replays. But I was just really shocked at how often, hardly anybody missed, because they were all looking forward to it. And the last week everybody was sad. So I guess that's a sign of a good program, right? So anyhow, I hope you will think about joining us. Again, it's our 6-week Sales Accelerator Workshop. So it starts September 27th. If you're listening to this at a later date, reach out. We might be running it again. I wasn't planning on running it again this soon, but had so many people inquire. It is limited. It's a small group Zoom meetings every Wednesday. That's what we do. So one of the things that we did at the very beginning of that session was identify our ideal clients, which I know we just shared with you on episode 174 about how to find the right clients. And we did some work around that. We workshopped around that. And one of the things we also want to workshop around is thinking about the fact that everything starts with people knowing who we are and what we do, right? We can't grow our new eyeballs. We can't do anything. Why are we doing PR? Why are we paying for ads? Why are we doing anything if our brand assets aren't in place? And what does that mean? What are you talking about, Wendy? That's the question I get all the time. I just got off a coaching call with a client. She's like, what are you even talking about? Brand assets, Wendy, stop it. Right? And in our Sales Accelerator workshop, one of the things that, I was surprised at, because I almost kind of fluffed over that part. I just went okay, do a brand asset check. And then they were like, whoa, what does that mean? So we got deep into it, and I wanted to share that part with you. And again, with one of my clients just saying to me, what do you mean by that? So I want you to think about yourself, and when you find a new business or you hear about a new business, which is the goal, right? We want people to hear about us. We want people chit-chat, and chatter matters, right? Well, we want to understand, we want people to know who we are and what we're about, and in a very clear way. We also want to represent ourselves the right way. We don't want to look like broken links, and we don't want to have all this messy stuff going on. We want to look professional, and we also want people to know if we're a flower shop, or we're a bookshop, or a record store, or a candy shop, or a paint store, that when they find us or they hear about us, they find us. And when they find us and they start searching, right? When you find or you hear about a new thing, you Google some words, right? That's what you do first. Or you go onto Facebook and you search some names, because maybe you're not really sure of the name. Try being Front Porch Mercantile, which was my business. Nobody knew how to spell it. Nobody remembered the name. It was just, kind of messy about that. So what did people Google, and what are they searching for, and what do they find? And what happens when they do that? What happens when they find that? They land on your Instagram or your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your TikTok or your website or your Google business or whatever. Or maybe they drive by your shop. What is the first impression they get when they meet you? What is the first impression? So this is your brand. This is what you have control of. This is your brand asset. So here's some tips on that. I want to remind you, it always comes from the customer's point of view, not yours. It's not about what you want the world to know about. It is and it isn't, but a great brand is about what the customers think they're about, right? Not so much what we want the world to see, or what we say we're about. It's about what they see that we're about. So we have to make sure that everything is cohesive, is your brand messaging, your brand look, your brand feel, your brand, everything about your brand in all of those places. And when I say all of those places, I guess let's start at the beginning. Let's start with an audit about what we should be checking for. So what do you have control of? This is what I do when I have an audit. What do you have control of? You have control of the look and the feel and the words and the content that people search. You might not have control of the algorithms, and you don't have control if Facebook goes away tomorrow and all of that, but you do have control of what people see. So where are you hanging out? Where are you represented? Where would people find you? So that list, again, as I mentioned, it might be Instagram, Facebook, all the socials that you might be on, if you're on TikTok and Threads and all of the things. And again, LinkedIn, I'm just going to mention website because you have control of your website. That's an owned asset. We also really want to make sure that we clean up and make sure it's good on our owned asset. Your Google business page, I would say, in my books, is the number one primary place that you want to make sure is all tickety-boo and everything is great. But also, again, the way the front of your shop looks, the things that are happening outside the exterior, that is part of a first impression. So think about anything that you can control of a first impression. Now, somebody's thinking right now, somebody's listening to this right now and they're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a big list. I just don't have time. I'm going to update my website next year and I've got somebody doing that. Doesn't have to be everything updated. Doesn't have to be A+ work. It can be B+, okay work, as long as it's right and correct and first impressions are okay. If it's really bad, you're going to have to take it down, in my opinion. So, and I'll get through the list of what we think we should do, but make sure that your info is correct and that things in your brand look good. It needs to be super clear who you are, what you do, and who you're for from your customer's point of view. So who you are, I cannot tell you how many like website or, all different things I land on. It instantly brings me to an online Shopify store. I don't even know they have a local store. So I bounce right out, right? I just think you're not for me. So your store and your community name or your town name or whatever works for your people. And what you do in a very simple way. Don't say, we make life beautiful. That means nothing. Are you a hairdresser? Are you an interior designer? Are you a clothing store? Be specific. Be specific. And that's your first impression. That's what people are looking for. Also, this is where if you're doing Google Business, you want to make sure you have keywords. Because what did I search out? I didn't know the name of Front Porch Mercantile. I was searching out paint and I was searching out all the things, right? So think about it from your customer's point of view. This is such a controllable thing that does not have to take a long time. Everybody in our 6-week course, I kind of made them go and check their brand assets to make sure that the look, the feel, and the details, you would not be surprised, you would be surprised. You would be, what am I trying to say here? It would shock you how many people look at their information and the hours are wrong, the dates are wrong, the info is wrong, something's not there, there's no phone number to contact the shop. I mean, every store needs a shop phone number. I don't care who you are. But it's also okay, and let's talk about this a little bit, it's also okay to make sure that your brand is really speaking to your ideal client. And I said this in episode 174 when we were talking about your ideal client, that what you share doesn't have to be vanilla, like the way your brand looks and the way it feels. It's okay to repel other people, or you don't have to appeal to everybody. So again, great brands are not for everybody. So know that as well. So it's okay to say, we're the funkiest shop in town or whatever. We sell the coolest, funkiest earrings in town, and that's what we do. And not worry about what, I want to catch everybody who loves earrings, but you're not for everybody maybe. So let's be very clear on that. It's from the customer's point of view. We want to make sure that that's what our information is correct. We want to make sure our information is like the brand is representing our brand. And I know I've shared this before, and I want to actually remind you, and if you have the opportunity to go back and listen to episode number 96, I actually share almost all of this there as well, way back in episode 96 last season. And the title of that one is 3 Types of Marketing. Wait, no, it's what to do before you do paid marketing. And I share 3 types of marketing, which is paid and organic and that type of thing. But what we're trying to do, so that's a really good episode to go listen to as a follow-up, because my brain's working faster than my mouth. So I thought I better finish that sentence and share that with you. You guys, I'm really hyped up about this sales strategy stuff. And what I mean by that is, we're always talking about marketing. We're always talking about, growing our business, but really doing it from a place of intention and strategically is what I'm excited to share. And how I love to share this with you is really thinking about your community and where you live and the people you're trying to bring in, whether it's from outside communities or where you're trying to bring them in, and think about their journey, their customer journey, and how they're finding you. And people are just hearing about you. And this is, again, audience building. This is how, all the social media in the world and all the wonderful website in the world that you have and all the beautiful products that you have and the great service doesn't mean anything if you're losing people when they just kind of hear about you and they drop into your world somewheres along the way, whether it's social or drive by or pull in the parking lot. We can lose them. We can lose them. We have all been in the situation where we have driven maybe into a parking lot and it just doesn't look right. Right? It's just I'm not going in there. And this recently happened to my husband and I when we were on vacation, and everybody kept telling us to go to this shop, and it was so great. And actually online and what I saw in stores seemed cool, but we pulled in the parking lot. It was really gross. Just can't even, it was just wow, okay. All right. So, first impressions count. We have to make sure, I was going to pull out of that parking lot. I did go in and it was lovely inside. And I really had to resist the urge to not say, dudes, do something outside. It's really dodgy out here. And how many people pull out of that parking lot and didn't go in? The same thing happens with our first impressions of when they find our Google page. If your Google page is dead and you haven't touched it in a while and no one's, it's the last report on there, or the last entry on there was 3 years ago, and you don't have any testimonials, it's kind of dead and dodgy, right? So we want to make sure that is fresh and clean and updated, and show your shop front and your storefront and inside in your interior inside. There's all kinds of things that we all know we need to do, but just little things. Make a list and just work through it. Get your team to help you. Get other people to look at it for you. If you're an inner circle member, ask somebody in the inner circle to go and find your record shop, in whatever town you're in, and see what they come up with. Just try it with different people. Get accountability, from other people. Other people's eyes on things are wonderful. And again, look at it with eyes through the point of view of your customer, people who are searching for you. So there we are, my friends. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's an abbreviated podcast episode, and I know that I have covered these things with you before, but I really wanted to explain what a brand audit is and how you can do one yourself. Do a brand asset audit. It's anything that you own and you have control of, and where your business is represented. And the ones I gave you, that was just a short, little piece. Think about business associations that you might have. You might have a listing in. You might have a listing in a magazine. You might have a listing in a business guide or something along that lines, because there's so many things where our business can be. So do your own search about your business. See where else you're being pulled up. See where else it's happening. Where else, you might pop up, and make sure that that's all edited and clean. This is not an overwhelming project. Just if you keep it simple and you keep it, you don't have to go crazy, but you do have to do it. And I think right now at this time of the year, as people are searching, this is, again, an unfair advantage that you have, because you're taking control. You're putting your CEO hat on. You're being strategic about having people find you and having them find you and fall in love. We want people, when they land on your page and they find your things, we want them to be so giddy and so happy and so excited that they found you, like they found a treasure. That's what we want. And we've all been those people when we find stores and shops that we really are excited about. And when you start, what do? You search and you go deeper and deeper, right? Like I just found a shop the other day and I was like, ooh, this is exciting. I was clicking through all the things. I went on their Facebook and their Instagram and made a scheduled time in my calendar to make sure I went to that shop. So, and it's in another city and I'm going because it's cool. So, and also side note, make sure your events are listed because I was there the day before an event happened. And when I got there, I found out the event was happening the next day. I would have gone the next day. Anyhow, that's just a side note for marketing. Anyhow, I hope you found today's episode helpful. I hope that you will take action on this and go look at your own brand assets today. I hope you will find something in this, and I hope you will find something that you maybe have missed so that you can say, oh, that's so great. I actually was worth listening to Wendy today on this Monday or whatever day you're listening to. Hope you have a fabulous rest of the week. I want to remind you again that we are running the Sales Accelerator Workshop. It's a 6-week Sales Accelerator. We are going to get strategic. It's strategy. It's Sales Strategy Accelerator, actually, is what we called it. It's 6 weeks. It's going to be so good. If we have space available at this time, you'll find it on my website at wendybatten.com, or reach out to me on Instagram at wendybattenbiz, and I'll send you the links or hook you up. And we also have it in the links on my Instagram. So there you are, my friends. Thank you for listening today. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and we will see you here next week, same time, same place. See you then. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.